Hi everybody, we are back again and we're joined now by Seán Masterson, who is going for VP Education, which I got correct today. So, how are you keeping?
Good, really, really good. I am excited for the interview, excited for the election.
Brilliant. So, Seán, tell me a bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, my name's Seán Masterson. I'm a final year business marketing student, and I'm running for Vice President for Education. I'm 20 years old, nearly 21 in a month, actually next month, and that's spooky. But yeah, I'm really buzzing for this, and I've ran in elections before, but this is the first online one, so a bit of a curveball, but I'm enjoying it.
Excellent. So Seán, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
3 words. I prepped these 3 words because it's like I'm never good at these questions. So the best that I could come up with was excitable, because I am a bit like the Duracell bunny rabbit. I said nerdy because you'll see a lot of my answers are just totally like nerdy. And the last one is optimistic, because I'm optimistic for the future. For MSU as well.
Brilliant. So what do you think the role of education officer entails?
Well, there's a couple of parts to it. There's the academic representative role of it, because really you are just like the top academic representative. There's about 200 academic representatives, and you are at the top. So really, you are there to give feedback to the university on everything to do with how the education system works in the university. And there's also the executive side, because usually the vice president for education is the deputy president of the union as well. So there's a lot of kind of work that comes with that, that's on the executive side of the role. And there's the union, like actually being on the university side of it. So you're actually sitting the governing authority. So there's a lot of work that comes with that. And then finally, students, the most important part. You actually have to engage with students on a daily basis and understand what they're going through. So I think that kind of encompasses every aspect of the role.
Brilliant. So what can you bring to the role of education officer?
I'd say the main thing for me is experience and orientation. I also have years. So like my manifesto is kind of designed to be by the way, I'm not putting it out at all because my internet is terrible where I am. I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're perfect? Okay. Yep, perfect, lovely. I'd say experience, goal-oriented, 2 years. Because I have a plan for what I want, but also that needs to change for what students want. My experience going back, I was the first year senator at the beginning, back in 2018, and then I ran for Senate again, and then I'm the executive. So I've kind of seen all aspects of the union. I'm also a staff member of the union as well, so I kind of see it from all ways. I think that's what I can bring to the role, knowing the union a bit inside out, but also being a student and going through all those issues as well.
Brilliant. Sorry, I can't read. How do you, well, you've kind of just said it there, but how have you been involved within university and the students' union before?
Yeah, so I did a treasure hunt the other day on my campaign page, and the treasure hunt ended. Basically, it was a ploy just for me to tell you everything I've done. It was a bit clickbaity, but basically I began 2018, 1 week into university. I saw on my orientation a piece of paper that said "Run for the Students' Union." But me being in the student representation goes back to when I was 12. I was the student council nerd when I was in first year. I was on the student council every year until 6th year. And then when I went into the university, I was like, okay, I have to keep it up. So I got to get involved in as first year senator, then as independent senator and deputy chairperson, the first deputy chairperson of the Student Senate, which was a great honor. And now social sciences faculty convener and the executive. So also then academic rep with the university. So I got to understand that as well. And I've helped out with a couple of projects there. And now being executive officer has been total change of pace, as well as at the same time being a staff member. That duality of seeing the union on a daily basis and getting to see what goes on, that has been amazing. So regardless if I don't get elected for this election or not, being in my current role has been amazing.
Brilliant. So tell me a bit about your campaign. I'd say it's so hard with just social media this year. So let us know everything about it.
Brilliant, thank you. I would say, yeah, for me, I have never been a social media person. I never do stories. I don't even have like a private story on Snapchat. I think when Instagram came out, I like boycotted it when I was like 12. So this has been a bit of a change of pace for me. So I finally had to bite the bullet. But my campaign, it's at Seán for VP Ed on Instagram, and then I have a Facebook page as well. But my campaign is all kind of focused around 3 points. That's quality of education from my manifesto. Secondly is coming back to campus. Make sure when we come back to campus, it's the best environment that it can be for students. And then finally, the environment, because the planet is dying. And I would not live with myself if I didn't get elected to an office where I can do something and not fight on the environment as well, as much as I can do anyway. So that's a bit about my campaign.
Brilliant. So how do you plan on securing the votes of the students during this campaign?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. For me, I think showing what I've done and showing what I plan to do. So like showing students the experience that I've gone through and all the work that I've put into the Students' Union over the past 3 years, and then showing how from that I can kind of help guide along with the other members of the executive and students' input all the time of how to kind of guide the union into the future. That's for me what I think will help get me votes, because I've seen this place for a good few years and I kind of have an idea of where's the best place for it to go. And as I said before, I've got 2 years to listen as well to make sure that I'm staying on track.
Brilliant. How, if you were to get the role, would you campaign for the students of Maynooth?
That is also a good question. For me, how would I campaign? Like it's mostly about fighting on the daily issues. So like Moodle going down. Before that, I think it was like Wi-Fi is terrible. So going on the daily issues, then going on what my manifesto is, because my manifesto really is just a collection of issues that I've seen as my role as faculty convener. So that's like campaigning for the issues of like better feedback for students, having lecture sensitivity training, all of those kind of things that students need to be able to have a better education. But then also it's on the bigger issues, looking at the national picture, working with the Union of Students in Ireland as well. That's a big role of what officers in the SU have that a lot of students don't get to see, is that we also are a member of USI, and working there and bringing our opinions from MSU, which I think we have unique opinions compared to the other students' unions, bringing them up and working with USI to take on kind of like the environmental issues, take on fees, because recently we were talking in the faculty assembly about the fact that we pay, as I'm sure you may have heard this today already, but we pay the highest fees in the European Union. And that's like the tagline of MSU. We pay the highest fees in the European Union and Moodle is going down constantly. So it's also those kind of big ticket items like getting fees refunded and also free education. That's a long-term goal that it has to be developed on for years. Yeah, that's how I would campaign, and that's what I would campaign on more so as well.
Brilliant. So, Seán, what does the position of Education Officer mean to you?
What does the position of Education Officer mean to me? To me, it means, do you mean like personally rather than what I see as what the position should do? Okay, I'll go with, I'll interpret my way, yeah. I think for me, it's for me my chance to kind of bring everything I've ever done in the Students' Union and be finally able to do that on a daily basis and not have to worry about a degree, not have to worry about another job, and just be able to give it my all. Because that, I think I've given more time to the Students' Union than I've given to my degree or any other club or society in these past 3 years. And to be able to kind of cap that off, be able to give all of my time for a year to students, and to work on all the projects I've always thought about, because my brain has just been going for the past 2 years of seeing everything, what could be done, to be able to actually implement that over the next year, that is like, I can't put it into words, as you can see, I'm stumbling. That would be an honor, like a serious honor.
Brilliant. Very good. Before I actually get into my favourite part of the interview, the quick fire questions, I actually have a question for you. So I was watching your Instagram the other day, and I really want to know the story behind you burying the leaflets, like your campaign leaflets.
Yes. So okay, that's a great question. So that was the treasure hunt. Spoiler alert! It's still pinned on my Instagram. So if you do want to see the whole thing from start to finish, it's there. But I'll give you I'll tell you the story. So I've always been a very nostalgic person. I always kind of like to look at the past and look at how things changed and developed. And that's when I was back in first year. I had my campaign poster. Now the campaign poster was horrific. It nearly looked, to be honest, like an American Republican poster. And my picture was like just one square of me just deadpan grey, like barely smiling. And so that was the poster. But there was one that I put up. I put them all over the campus. But I put one up in the John Hume. You know when you're going through John Hume and there's that poster, the poster board? And I put it right there in the middle. And this was like 3 weeks into college. But I always had people come up to me being like, oh, you're the person who's like, when I walk in the front of JH, your face is right there and looks at me every day. So it's a bit like Big Brother-esque kind of thing. But I swear, I think that poster actually helped me win that election because I only won it by like 20 votes out of like 300. So then what happened was, over the next year, I got really involved in Students' Union. Like I ran the Yes campaign for our current constitution. I like was on the Senate, always doing stuff left, right, and centre. And then by the end of the year, I had ran for independent senator for my next year and was delighted. Like basically at this stage, had completely sold my soul to the SU level. And then I actually didn't take down one of my posters, that one on JH, because I forgot to, and didn't get a late fine, thankfully. But before I could take it down, they put up the sabbatical poster that like advertises each of the 4 sabbaticals over it. I happened to be there at the end of the year when that poster got taken down. And looking back at me now a year later is just my first year senator poster staring at me. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that didn't get taken down. So I was like, well, I have to now keep it. It's like, but if I bring it home, I'm probably just going to throw it out. So it's like, I'll know what I'll do. I'll fold it up and I'll bury it outside of John Hume so then it will be there for ages. It was not a campaign. It was not like a long-term campaign ploy. I wasn't like, one day I'll run for this and then dig it up. But yeah, there we go. That's the story. So then I was chatting to my campaign team about it and they were like, I was like, what could I do to do some promotion? And they were like, and I told them the story. They were like, you have to bring that up. You have to do a buried poster on campus. Yeah, that's a long-winded story.
It was going through your story and I was like watching along and I was like, wait, where did this come from?
Yeah, if you're just like clicking through, you then snaps to me just digging in the ground. It's a bit of a weird one.
Seán, I was like, I need to know the story behind this. I was like 100%.
Yeah, it was a weird one. I'm a bit quirky.
Okay, now we're going to get into the quick fire. The very controversial questions. So, we're going to start off with tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Oh, we've had only tea today.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, I have opinions, but I won't give them all.
Coffee. Like, if you're going to Starbucks in the library, what would you get?
Vanilla latte.
Oh.
I am a Starbucks gal. Classic vanilla latte. But recently with the pandemic and being at home all the time, I actually have started to drink tea. And that's because of my friend. He's been drinking tea since he was like 10 with no interest for that long, and now he's finally got me to drink tea. So it is balancing out, but still coffee wins.
Yeah. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. But it's close. It's close. It is close, but dogs. Has to be. Huskies.
Oh, lovely. With the pandemic, like everyone's been watching telly. So, do you have a favourite TV show?
Yeah, Game of Thrones was my favourite TV show. The ending was questionable, but recently, right now, my favourite TV show is WandaVision, and the finale is this Friday, and I cannot wait.
No, I think I might have to watch it. I've been putting it off.
Oh, it's incredible. Like, and even for people who aren't Marvel fans, or any kind of superhero fans, this is just like such a good show. A little bit confusing at the beginning, but it's confusing on purpose. Brilliant though.
I think that might be my study week binge.
Yeah. I caught COVID at the beginning of the year, and my quarantine show was binge watching all of The Crown. So that was that was fun.
Brilliant. Do you have a favorite film?
Reservoir Dogs or nearly anything Quentin Tarantino. I love Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Django Unchained. I love all of that.
Brilliant. I'm kind of keeping on the same note. Any favorite songs?
Songs? The one I used to always have a quick answer for this, and it was Imagine by John Lennon. I even have a t-shirt actually somewhere behind me of it that I got. But right now, I don't know. I actually have really started to get into Ariana Grande recently, and that's I totally blame my girlfriend on that one, because she's like a massive fan. But yeah, Ariana Grande.
Love her. Who would be your dream dinner date? Like, who, dead or alive, would you love to have dinner with?
I think the Pope. I've always said the Pope, and I still to this day I'm not atheist, probably agnostic, and I don't really I feel like there is something out there, don't know what it is, but I would love to meet somebody who is totally dedicated their lives to that, with and be able to just chat about it. That for me, incredible to me.
That's so interesting. I've never heard anybody have that answer. Brilliant. So what has been your favourite memory at Maynooth so far?
For me, this is one of the nerdier answers, but when I was thinking about how should I answer this question, because I actually got asked this as well on my question box on Instagram. I couldn't figure it out. But I think rather than just in the Students' Union, I don't know if I'm frozen. I don't know if I am frozen there. Hello?
I'm so sorry about that. After all of our conversation about your Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi goes. My Wi-Fi stopped working, but we're back. I knew this was going to happen to somebody.
I have such bad Wi-Fi that I just immediately exited the studio and was pretty sure that's me. So it's probably me going
I just kept talking. I was like, yeah, so I was like, Sean was saying before he had problems with his Wi-Fi, and then I looked at my phone and I went, no, that's me. That's my Wi-Fi. So we're just going to take a step back, and we're going to go back to, what's your favourite memory at Maynooth so far?
Yes, yeah, perfect. I forgot the question as well. So I find this is a hard question for me to answer. What I first think about is in the Students' Union, because I got asked this question as well today on my story. And in the Students' Union, it's always campaigns. Usually the weather is always good magically, and it's always just so much fun to meet everybody on the other side. But I think my favorite memory in just Maynooth full stop of being here is every Tuesday back in first and second year, I would go to GameStop, and there'd be me and 7 other of my friends, and we would play D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, that wouldn't know. And we played. I was the Dungeon Master, and we would play it every Tuesday for 2 years. And those were some of the best times I've had. Just chilling out and that was the best.
Excellent. Sorry, I don't think I can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah. Perfect. We're back.
Perfect.
And finally, what's one thing about you that surprises people?
Yes, so I love this question because I actually also answered it today on my story. Somehow I didn't mean to do that, but somehow I picked some of these questions today from people that sent me them. But one thing that definitely surprises people, because I come across as such a policy nerd and so kind of like, I don't know, very student representative-y. But also, like, one, I am a person, I'm a student, but two, I skate. I'm a skater boy. And if you ever see me across town, I have a longboard that is like battered. It's like 5 years old at this stage, but I have not learned how to drive. I'm still clinging on to teenage years. I skate like everywhere. I once described it as like walking, but it's like, like fizzy water. Instead of like fizzy water, it's like exciting walking. But yeah, that's one thing that usually surprises people. I'm a skater boy.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We find out a bit more about yourself and your campaign promises. Just another note, I'm going to say this out in every video. Please make sure you're registered. Please vote on March 10th, because it is important for you as next year when you're in the university and there's something going wrong and you're giving out and you didn't vote, it's all down to that at the end of the day. So, Seán, is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
No, but thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
See you
later.